Hey, Dan. It is, what is it, Tuesday, October the 2nd. And I am, this is sort of a light and dark video. Let's start with the light. Here's part of the light.
Wednesday.
So, Johnny and I have been watching UEFA Champions League. And it has been, it's been entertaining. Oh my gosh, look at this. Anyway, it's been, that's the light. It's been very entertaining. I've been really enjoying, Johnny, of course, is really into it. He's a big Bayern Munich fan. So today, for example, Bayern was playing Aston Villa, and school let out at 3:30. The game started at 2, so I was watching the game at home, so I rushed to school. He ran out, jumped in the car, we sped home, and were able to see the last 20 minutes of the match. Unfortunately, today, Aston Villa beat Bayern Munich 1-0, much to Johnny's chagrin. But we've been really enjoying. It's fun for me to have somebody who's into it. I mean, he's really into it, right? He just, tomorrow is the last home soccer game when it's senior night. So they're going to do a quick little bio for each senior. Johnny's a senior. And so one of the questions on his bio, standard bio, was, what's your favorite soccer memory? And, for him, it was Germany's World Cup victory in 2014. So that, that's pretty good. It's been, we've been watching Premier League as well when we can, but I get Paramount Plus, so we get CBS, so we can watch all the UEFA games. Now, unfortunately, most of them are when he's in school, but when he's not in school, we've been getting a heavy dose of UEFA. And I don't, for me, it's really nice because I don't have any, I don't care who wins. I just want to see good football. So I can enjoy it without getting uptight about it. And it's actually, the little worry doll. Johnny's like my little worry doll because he's getting really, uptight and excited. So for me, I can just sit back and not get uptight at all. So as I said, tomorrow is the last home soccer game. Playoffs start next week. They go right into playoffs, into sections. Did we ever have playoffs? I can't remember having a single playoff game when we were in high school. It's because we sucked. I don't know. Anyway, okay, I did have another piece that I forgot to add. The post-match commentary that UEFA Champions League does. It's got, what is her name? I can't remember the host. Kim something, maybe? I'm sorry if you're watching this. Not you, Dan, but you, the host. Anyway, she speaks some Spanish, pretty good Spanish. Thierry Henry, Micah Richards, and Jamie Carragher. Micah Richards and Jamie Carragher are English and played in Premier League. And what is interesting is, like, yesterday they were interviewing a person who's German, and the woman whose name I can't remember was speaking German, interviewing him. And then today they were interviewing John Duran, who's Colombian. He scored the goal for Aston Villa against Bayern Munich. And he speaks no English. And they did the interview in Spanish. And the great thing was, what was really interesting is that Jamie Carragher and Micah Richards were they were being funny because they didn't know Spanish, and they were trying to read off their phones, and it was horrible. And Thierry Henry speaks fluent Spanish, and you could just tell that he had very little patience for these bozo Englishmen. And then the woman, she spoke Spanish. Oh, she spoke Spanish as well. And but it's really interesting watching this because it's not like watching American things where everything's going to be rendered into English. No, it was just all done in Spanish, and if you didn't understand, too bad. And I really liked that. Like I said, yesterday's was partly in German. If you didn't understand, not too bad. So I thought it was all really interesting. I really enjoyed it, and I love that international feel to it. Again, something we don't necessarily get, or just don't get in the U.S. With the U.S. sports in the same way. So yeah, so that's my light. My dark is I got this in a text from Jay yesterday morning at about 6:30. And it was like, oh my gosh, you can see the picture. That's the backside of Huffby, of the old Huff Mugby, Ridgelands now that Amber's running. And so I sent Amber a text, or rather an email, and offered any help, that if they needed help cleaning up, or if they needed help, if she needed to use our equipment because she had catering or anything like that, she was welcome to use it. I didn't understand the extent of the damage until later that day, about noon. I was on my way to the Y, maybe 10:30, and the fire department called me, and I'm guessing they got my cell from Kareen, and he said that they had this thing with wire sticking out of it back in the back parking lot by the air conditioner unit, right about where they think the fire started, and they didn't know what it was. I mean, it had burned down pretty good, and so the fire did start outside, in that little corner between the LCC building and the enclosure where we kept all the cardboard, right out of our back door, and so they. So he asked me if I recalled anything sitting out there, and I said, well, I don't. I mean, obviously it's been a year and a half. I'm happy to meet you over there. And he was like, no, that'd be great. So I went over, and no, I didn't recognize it. It turned out to be, it was like the remains of a floor lamp, Kareem thinks. But I was able to take a bunch of pictures. So here, I'll just kind of scroll through. I mean, I'll put those up here so you can see them. So as you can see, the damage was far more significant than I thought that morning. That whole back room where we had the safe, and where you kind of went out, where the back doors both emptied into, that room is pretty much destroyed. I mean, it's not burned down, but I don't think, the equipment was melted. I don't think there's really anything that's salvageable out of that room. And then the heat rolled, along the ceiling all the way up. Even though the bar area doesn't look damaged at all, the ceiling tiles, there's 2 or 3 ceiling tiles that are melted. So you can see how those super hot gases were rolling up. But the whole back of the LCC is burned. The roof is damaged. The LCC kitchen, the offices probably are all going to have to be replaced. The equipment might be salvageable. But as you can see in this one picture, the power, the electric meters all melted and burned out, and so of course the main power's cut, right? Because I'm sure it blew the neighborhood at that point. I'm not sure who reported it, but it came in at 1:30 in the morning, so anyway, Amber's in shock. I haven't talked to her at all, but I did, exchange a text with her. It's sad. They've only been at it a year and a half, and she's been actually gaining momentum and getting more business and doing better. And I'm sure business insurance covers it, but it's still all the stress of having to go through that, not knowing whether it's going to cover it. You've got bills that are due, and hopefully the insurance company steps up and does right by them. So anyway, that's my dark. Otherwise, we're well. Everything's good here. I know you're getting ready to go to Wales, so I guess I will conclude. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.